Hi everyone, welcome back to Economy. Today we'll discuss one of the most prestigious recognitions in economics, the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences for 2024. This year's winners have provided new insights into a critical question: why are some countries rich and others poor? Did you know that the richest 20% of the world's countries are around 30 times richer than the poorest 20%? While the poorest countries have seen growth, they are not catching up to the wealthiest. Why? The laureates have found convincing evidence that the key factor behind this persistent gap is a society's institutions. This year, the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences was awarded to three brilliant economists: Daron Acemoglu, Simon Johnson, and James Robinson. Their research conclusively shows that the institutions governing a society play a crucial role in determining its prosperity. And here's the breakthrough: they proved that inclusive institutions lead to wealth, not the other way around. In societies where governments create inclusive systems that provide security, opportunities, and rights to all, economic growth follows. On the other hand, societies with extractive institutions designed to benefit a few elites at the expense of the majority remain trapped in poverty. Their work examined how colonial history shaped today's global wealth distribution. One key discovery is that in areas where colonizers encountered high population densities or deadly diseases, they established extractive institutions. These were designed for one purpose: to exploit local resources as quickly as possible without thinking about long-term development. The idea was to take as much as they could and leave. In contrast, when colonizers encountered sparsely populated regions with better living conditions, they decided to settle for the long term. In these regions, they created inclusive institutions, more democratic systems where rights were extended and development was encouraged. Over time, something remarkable happened. The initially wealthy territories with extractive institutions became poor, while the initially poor territories with inclusive institutions became rich. This shows that inclusive democratic institutions are essential for economic success. A clear example of this difference can be seen in the city of Nogales, which is divided by the US-Mexico border. Nogales, Arizona, has democratic institutions, better economic opportunities, and secure property rights, resulting in relative wealth. Just across the border in Nogales, Sonora, Mexico, their residents face more poverty, insecurity, and weaker institutions. It's not geography that separates them, it's the institutions. One of the key infographics connected with the research shows the reversal of fortune concept. This reversal illustrates how once wealthy areas like parts of Latin America are now poorer due to the extractive institutions established by colonizers. Meanwhile, regions like the United States and Canada, initially less developed, thrived due to their inclusive institutions. Another infographic highlights how settler mortality rates played a crucial role. Areas with fewer diseases became more prosperous because colonizers set up growth-oriented institutions. But how can societies break free from extractive institutions and transition to more democratic systems? Acemoglu, Johnson, and Robinson explain that this can happen in two main ways: through revolution or a handover of power. Revolutions occur when population, often pushed to the brink by inequality and repression, mobilizes and forces the elite out of power. The threat of violence or mass protest forces change, and this shift can lead to the establishment of more inclusive institutions. The second way is through a negotiated handover of power. In this case, the elite realize that they can no longer suppress the masses, but instead of a violent uprising, they opt to hand over control, allowing democratic reforms to take place. The difference here is that revolution comes through force, while a handover can be a more peaceful transition, though it is often driven by the same pressures from the people. Both processes highlight the power struggle between the ruling elite and the masses. Inclusive institutions can emerge when the masses are able to gain political power and influence over decision-making. This is crucial for long-term economic growth. In conclusion, the 2024 Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences highlights that wealth and prosperity are deeply tied to the institutions governing a society. As we've seen, inclusive institutions create opportunities for growth, while extractive institutions trap societies in poverty. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insightful videos on the economy.